The DA's Federal Council held a media briefing in Johannesburg on its two-day meeting on the preparations for the 2019 national elections. Let's take a look.
Part of this Federal Council was to set out a plan to put all South Africans first by resolving the following. That our country is a country of great potential. We started on a good path in 1994, and that it has since lost its way from the vision set out by our founding father of democracy. That the direction taken by our governing party has resulted in a country where crime is rising, corruption oppressively holds our people back, and there's no fair access to jobs. That South Africa needs a change from this current system of empty promises. Therefore, Federal Council resolves in this week that we commemorate the 100th anniversary of Nelson Mandela's birth in the most patriotic way we can commit to getting South Africa back on track. That the way to get South Africa back on track is by bringing change that puts all South African people first, and that change will be brought in next year's election, where the DA will present our offer that speaks to fighting corruption, providing fair access to real and long-term jobs, making our police force honest and professional, so as to serve and protect, so that it serves and protects with pride. We want to secure our borders, and we want to provide better government. All provinces, therefore, in the light of this, which is going to be a very exciting election come 2019, is that all provinces will be selecting and finalizing their premier candidates come the 18th of August. It will be important that as we elect premier candidates, that these are people who demonstrate our values and want to take South Africa forward and bring this message to every corner of the world. Federal Executive has also taken a decision to extend nominations of candidates in terms of the application process to the end of July. We must always be guided by this principle. The DA will never stand for cadre deployment. We're the only party that actually makes it possible for somebody who is outside the organization to come in and stand as a member of parliament. The Democratic Alliance also acknowledges the increasing nature of the cost of living in South Africa. There can be no doubt if you are poor in South Africa, you end up in a space where your pockets are emptier. It was demonstrated more profoundly by the recent SASA debacle, but it ultimately speaks to this issue of the fact that more South Africans are facing an increase in VAT and an increase in the fuel levy. We've resolved this week that there is no clear demonstration of leadership within the ANC that says they want to deal with corruption. It is this money that we could be using to shield the poor from the most adverse effects of the increasing cost of living. We will ultimately recognize the fact that our fiscus is incapable of being able to assist poor people, fundamentally because we continue to fund ESCOM and SAA. And part of the resolutions that were tabled in this Congress is that we don't need an SAA, or we don't need these bloated state-owned entities. So therefore the DA will also make proactive proposals to reduce the levy payable to the Road Accident Fund, to provide immediate relief to consumers, and to reduce the tax proportion payable on fuel over time to get it back to a reasonable level.